Boards games, it's what I'm talking about. Boards games, we're not gonna shout. I am starting off this streaming with a little bit of singing, and over here I have some lovely folk. We are all ready to have a joke. We're all ready to have a laugh, and we've made some games and are going to show you that stuff. Over here is Alan Paull, who has been here most of all. Alan has made a little facsimile. It shouldn't really be called a war game. It's more like a strategic tactical two-player. Hey, man, I didn't think my joke was that bad. Okay, fine. If that's the way.
That's not here to sing.
Wow.
Oh, okay. Rory, okay, I point taken. Was a bad joke.
I missed it.
It's only going to get worse from here on.
Oh, I'm so sad. I missed it. It's cut out at the worst time.
And over there, it's Alex Cannon, also known as Aquasulis. And Alex is a musician, and I'm certainly not gonna diss Alex's game Invisible. Or Biddable, which was made with Xades. Xades can't be here, I guess, on this screen. But we love Xades every day. Down there is Rory Muldoon. And we'll hear Rory say something soon.
Hello.
I can't point guy.
Rory has made a game called Scorer. And I will beseech you to play this game. Anyway, sorry about all this, but we're talking about board games. Board games is what we're talking about. Board games. I'm not going to shout. Hello and good morning, Robin. Good morning, Tom Cauldron, Sate, Nicholas. It is lovely to see you all. Thank you all for joining me. And this is oh my gosh, I had to make a whole new banner for folders, but I am Bez. This is we're blethering about board games. We're going to talk about the Bez and Friends Game Day 2, which we have 6. I've almost lost count. So we've got a quick game from me, a game from Alan, game from Alex and Xate, a game from Alex, a game from Rory, and a game from Eric Slauson, who can't be here because of time zone, and Xate to be here because of spoons. But lots of love to those people who are absent, and I hope that these games people will enjoy them all, because I've played them all and I have much respect for all these games. I think they are bleeping fantastic. So yes, that is totally. And Xate is there, very tired. Lots of love. Now, let's actually have a very quick introduction. Yeah, I needed to get my water. Cheers. I hope everyone else is better prepared than me. We will only be here for a short while, but let's go in clockwise order. And so,
clockwise according to you behind the screen.
Clockwise according to the screen.
Okay.
So, Alan, talk a little bit about yourself.
I'm and as you can tell if you're on video, I am an older game designer. I've been designing games since I was very, very small, and eventually founded Surprise Day Games with Tony Boydell, and we produce lots of games. We've got this thing here, which is part of our Pocket Campaign series, which has been running for a few years now. I've got 3 of them, and more will come. And I also design more mainstream Euro games and card games and other war games as well. But I also play games, believe it or not.
I mean, I guess
You've heard
that's
enough
something
about
that
me.
you've got
You've
in
heard enough
common with a
about me
lot of the
anyway.
folk around here.
I think
actually
so.
playing games.
Yeah, I know. Well, there's some designers who don't play many of other people's games, you see, because it takes time to play other people's games when you're concentrating on playing your own. But I tend to feel that playing other people's games is really helpful and useful, so I do.
Yeah, it certainly gives you more ideas to take inspiration from.
Yeah,
and to see what's out there. And
so, yeah, Alex, introduce yourself.
I'm Alex. You might have seen me in the chat before as Aquasulis. I've been around a few times. I am a game designer, which is a bit weird to say out loud, but I've been designing games for about 6 or 7 years now. So they're just about starting to get okay, you know. I am in Sussex, the south coast of the UK, and I'm also a musician. So I do that classic musician thing of working in a music shop. That's what I do. I'm the tech guy, and I do the music stuff. And then so I bring all that skill to making things, because I love making things. So I've been doing that for a long time. Music, games, writing, all sorts of stuff. And I'm quite good at losing my train of thought. So, hello.
Yeah, join the club, Alex. Join the club.
Yeah.
Rory.
Yeah, so I'm Rory. I guess primarily a graphic designer. That's maybe what more people know me as. Well, that's an incredibly egocentric thing to say. So graphic design is sort of what I started out as. That's the way that I make my living primarily, and I more recently started doing game design. And I was on BEZZY's stream months ago now. I can't remember when it was, but it was it was a while ago now. Talking about board game art, because that's something which I am really passionate about. So I guess I started making games as a outlet for making art, I guess. And yeah, I don't know if I'd ever get to a stage where I'd want to design a board game where I wasn't working on the art, because for me it's like a linked process, and I like to kind of think about game mechanisms and game arts alongside each other. And I guess sort of I'm having my most fun when I'm iterating on a prototype, both from a rules point of view and from an art point of view, and the two things are happening at the same time, and that's kind of a nice, happy place for Rory to be.
Yeah, and I guess maybe we could, like, if we had another couple of hours, like a normal morning show, then maybe we'd be like, okay, well, what's about being an art director? Like, would you be happy to do art direction rather than the art yourself for a game? But I don't know if you can answer that in 10 seconds.
Yeah, I have done a little bit of that. As I said, I make my living doing graphic design, and more so in games in the last couple of years. So I've done artwork for games which I've not been involved in the design of, as in the game design of, and that's good, and I enjoy it. And it's nice to be able to bring that thinking to other people's games as well. But I mean, ultimately, I think I would go out on a limb and say most game designers are doing it for love, probably. And so for me, when I'm doing game design and then when I'm doing the art for my own designs, it's sort of like the love of the game design, and then it's the love of the art too. And so it's kind of it's the most wholesome way of working. So yeah, I happily have done and will do kind of art direction and graphic design and illustration for other games as well. But yeah, if you're talking sort of passion, it's my own projects, I guess, are where I'm most excited.
Of course. And I want to give a shout out to the couple of designers whose games we're playing later on who aren't able to join us on screen. And firstly, there's Xate, who you can read about down below. So you might know Xate because Xate is actually in chat right now. saying that, hey, silly boy, you are not Alex, you are Aquasulus.
Yeah.
And I do want to give a quick hello and good morning to Andrew. Sorry, I didn't get to that when you popped in, but I hope that you're generally having a decent morning. Oh, man. So, Xate, who will literally cook for board games, is an artist creating chocolate masterpieces and has made edible versions of board games like Patchwork. But also, I know that Xate's been community developer and helping out a lot at Quality Beast, doing great moderation around, and has a great head for development, and done a bunch of design as well over the past few years, including one co-design that we're going to be showing off in a few hours. Now, and I don't know if is there anything more to say about Xate, or should we wait until Xate comes on? I will say Eric Slauson, who's based in America, is, I don't know why I felt the need to say that, because everyone else is kind of in quite a tight region. Like, we're all basically on one tiny island, except for Xate, who's like just across the ocean on Leipzig, which is public knowledge. And you know, somewhere on this tiny country known as Germany, which is smaller than America, which is a slightly bigger country geographically, and also sadly power-wise. But let's not get too political. I do apologize. Eric Slauson comes from there. We played Monstrosity on a stream thanks to Heather. Heather, can't remember her last name. Sorry, Heather. Who does Protospiel that's also going on. We played this. This is just such a wonderful game. It's about communication. It's about listening. It's about that old exercise where one person tells everyone how to draw something and everyone else has to draw it. And it's exactly that, but gamified. And I loved it, and I'm so excited to have Eric over. And I've not chatted to Eric much. Eric's the person I've chatted to least out of everyone. But I've got so much love for this game, and Eric seems like a super excellent person. So, with those short introductions out the way, it feels like we should get on to recent highlights, living life and seeing the sights, recent highlights, playing games and other delights, recent highlights. Walking outside, seeing an amazing sunrise. That was my recent highlight. Alan.
Well, we had a walk today, about 3/4 of an hour out in the fields, which are nicely just frozen enough so you can walk in the fields without getting super muddy. Well, I might say we're seeing a lot, but actually it's really foggy. So we could see, what, 300 yards or so? But it was really, really good. That was literally about, we finished that about an hour ago. So that was great. Games wise, well, we had our regular evening game session last night, if yesterday was Friday. It's so easy to lose track. And played Roll for the Galaxy and Sex Nymph, basically. Recent highlights. But it was really good to see the people. We had about...
Rory.
We had six of us, which isn't bad. Six player Sex Nymph. Vaguely works, yeah.
So my recent highlights, I'm going to just copy Alan completely and say probably walks. I think, and you can look, there's sort of, you have to really look hard for the silver linings of the current lockdown situation we're in. But I guess one of them for me is just grabbing an ordnance survey map of where I live, which is something I've never really ever engaged with before, and looking, okay, where can I walk, which is, you know, from my front door, which is interesting. And yeah, just discovering interesting walks from my house, circular walks, which I probably would have never done and never even known about hadn't kind of not been forced into it with this kind of government lockdown. So I think that's something I really am trying to take a bit of positivity from, is seeing things which are right on my doorstep, which I haven't seen in the 10 years that I've lived here. So that's kind of cool in a way. Game wise, I think not been playing a huge amount of stuff, but a game I really enjoy, which I've played a bit on video chat, is a game called Penny Papers Adventures Skull Island. I think there's 3 in the series, and it's a roll and write, and it's does stuff which I've not seen in roll and writes before. You're kind of on an island looking for digging for treasure, and it uses a kind of coordinate system, which I think is super interesting, and I find it very enjoyable. And it's a game that I played with lots of people who don't normally play games. Everyone sort of seems to grasp it, which is nice.
That sounds lovely.
Mm.
What are your recent highlights?
I've got a couple of recent highlights. One was that I recently found out that I've got an audition for a TV quiz show. So there's a chance.
Congratulations.
That I'll be on.
Are we allowed to ask which one, or is that something?
I'm not sure. I'm not entirely sure I'm allowed to say which one, really.
Okay.
I already have, but it's a very difficult TV quiz show on BBC Two. So that might give you an idea. And also, I really enjoyed the online playtesting that we've been doing, actually on Roy's game most recently. I love things like that, and testing it out and just seeing things evolve, and just kind of getting to grips with new systems and kind of having that open design discussion. That's been a really lovely addition to my online streaming experience recently. That's been great.
That does sound lovely. And so I want to say, talking about a brilliant thing, what's the little thing which is brilliant? I want to say, I know I've talked about it before, I'm just going to repeat myself, I'm going to say people. And so, yep, today with everyone coming over, Bez and Friends Game Day and friends, the focus is very much on the friends. And I want to do a quick introduction and explain back in UK Games Expo kind of era was to have something inspired partially by City of Games, if other people have been done by Frank West in Bristol, and also by some things that Gilhova mentioned on Lou, and kind of talking about, well, why not have something that's a bit more focused? Okay, let's have a curated section of games. Like, sure, it's not just one publisher's games, it's not just my games, these are games of other people. And yeah, sure, I like Alan, I like, you know, all of these people are people that I like on a personal level, but also more importantly, for the sake of their games coming on, I really respect the games. So it's kind of like there's a little bit of curation there, and trying to make sure that there's a couple of games that you can get involved in, even if you don't have digital stuff going on. And, well, except for the video camera and internet, obviously, you know what I mean, because not everyone can get Tabletop Simulator working. Not everyone wants to go into Tabletopia, and that's totally fine. And so having a small number of games, having it small enough that people are focused and being like, okay, what are we doing at this time? And even if there's only 4 or 5 of us kind of really at one time, it can just be a bunch of friends getting together. And so yeah, the friends are both the designers, but the friends are also everyone who comes on. And yeah, and Bez and Friends game is today. And so if you want to join in, if you are not part of the Discord, which might apply to a couple of the people watching, I see, but join in. So that is the brilliant thing. Sate asks, does anyone else feel like Rory and Aqua need to stack some boxes in the background? So we were talking about this before the show. Alan was thinking we need to go the other way and clear up Alex and Rory, but it sounds like what the people really want is more cardboard boxes.
Yeah, that's really nice. I have noticed that one of my boxes in the back there is a bit precarious. I hope it doesn't actually fall off. It should be.
Yeah,
all right.
it looks like it's on the verge, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
Sliding
Yeah.
any minute.
So it's only got, I think it's got jiffy bags or something in it, so it's fine. It's fine.
And
What could possibly go wrong?
hello to Good Heads from Facebook. We are all well. We are all just chatting about the Bez and Friends game day, and we've introduced these people. Rory, I know you were about to head off in a minute, and so I would like to ask Rory very quickly, how would you do a 30-second pitch of your game? And yeah, it's a beautiful thing, and it's got like a unique system. Like, you call it area control, but it's not quite area control. It's kind of card placement, and then you use the card. It's like not area control as we think of it. It's like the old Star Trek. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, so I describe the sort of one-liner I use to describe Scorer is it's a game of fishing and feuding. So I quite like area control games. I guess that's why I describe it as one. But I'm not a very confrontational player. I don't particularly like take-that mechanisms in games, and I don't really like sort of when people's plans get kind of undermined or destroyed by other players' actions. I know that's a sort of genre of game that a lot of people do enjoy, but yeah, I wanted to make a game which had some area control elements to it, but even if you were the last place in an area, you still got something, and you might actually get something you wanted from that area. So that was sort of the idea with Scorer. It's very rules light. It's very short. It plays in about 20 to 30 minutes, including a teach. And I guess it would be as described. Some people would describe it as a filler game. But yeah, that's kind of the game. There's not a huge amount going on, but hopefully it's fun. And if you are around later on this afternoon, you can come and play it with me, and I can show you how it works, and you can kind of make up your own mind on it.
Yeah, for sure. And Rory is going to be back here at 4 p.m. on the screen. Why am I not showing that? Sorry, I need to change that. So yeah, Rory is going to be back here at 4 p.m. UK time. But of course, if you're in the Discord before then Rory can explain the game and show it off to you. And please do give it a go. And so, yeah, I first played this when we were together at the Royal Festival Hall, and I felt like it's a unique blend of mechanisms, and so you've really developed something beautiful here. Well done.
Thanks, Bez. Thank you.
Well, before you head off, do you want to tell us what you're about to have for lunch as a traditional what are we looking forward to?
Well, actually, this is quite exciting.
Breakfast, indeed.
There's a Rick Stein show on the BBC at the moment where he's going around Cornwall eating food, which is, I guess, what Rick Stein does best. And we watched one, my girlfriend and I, last night, which was he's just making basically like a cheese tortilla, cheese, onion, and apple tortilla. And I thought, yeah, that looks cool. So I'm gonna have a walk to the corner shop. I'm going to pick up some tortillas, and I'm going to try and make that, and I'll report back later this afternoon if it was nice or if it was awful. So we'll find out later.
Okay, make those dreams come true. Cheese
Exactly.
and bacon tortilla, did he say?
No, cheese, apple, and onion. So
cheese, apple. Hold on, I am just struggling with this in my head. Cheese, apple, and onion. Wow.
That's right. Yeah, in a tortilla.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah. So
I'll be on board for that.
Yeah, we'll find out later on. If I've sort of got a scowl on my face and I'm angry, then it probably wasn't good. But you know, if I'm beaming, then Rick Stein had the answers. So tune in later for the conclusion.
Go do it. And
okay.
Live
Well,
the dream.
I'll head off then. So enjoy, everyone, and I'll catch you up a bit later on. Bye.
Bye, Rory.
Bye.
And so, Alan, I wanted to ask you and Alex, while you're here, like, let's chat a wee bit about what makes you designers. Like, why do you design? Like, what drives you to design things? I mean, Alan, we've I've never actually asked you this question, and I spent 2 hours talking about it with someone, and then we didn't really have that interesting a conversation. But now we've gotten to know you. Like, let's just have a 1-minute conversation. Why do you design?
That's a really difficult. That's a really difficult question. I mean, I think it's because when I started, I wanted to be creative. I mean, there was a key moment, I think, in my life when I used to play violin and viola. Right, this is a story to go somewhere. It won't be too long. I used to play violin and viola, and when I was at school, and I got quite good, and I was in lots of orchestras and stuff. So I was doing quite a lot of that. I dabbled with game design as well. And I also dabbled a bit with writing short stories. And there came a point, and I don't know when exactly it was. It must have been when I was about, I don't know, late teens, I suppose, when I felt I had to make a decision to concentrate on something. Was I going to do more music? Because I reached the stage where, to improve, I was viola mainly. To improve viola, I'd had to play 4 hours a day to improve. Writing short stories, I didn't think I was particularly good at it, but again, I'd have had to have focused on that to get there. And game design, similarly. So I felt that what of those three could I drop? And the only one I felt I couldn't drop was game design. So I thought, oh well, if that's something I definitely don't want to give up, I will focus on game design. So it's that creative stuff that got to me, really. So that's why game design, because I have to, I think. Sounds good, doesn't it? But no, I love creating things that people enjoy. I suppose in a way it's similar to the music and the writing. It's all aimed at producing something that people will like. So that's what it's about for me, I think.
That makes a lot of sense, just being compelled to. Is it similar for you, Alex?
It's spookily similar, and I'm starting to wonder if you've just invited people on the show who have done music and games, because you play piano very well. I spotted a banjo in the back of Rory's background, which I'm assuming he plays, but maybe not.
I'm not sure if Bez knew that I played anything. I'm not
there
sure.
You go.
Don't think we ever
Happy
discussed
accident.
it.
But yeah, I mean, I took I took making stuff that as far as I could in terms of music. So I studied music at university as a composer. So making compositions, making music pieces became a really great outlet, because I guess I'm kind of the same in that I just love. I have a drive to make things and to express myself. And maybe that's egotistical. Maybe it's like, oh look, hasn't he made something nice, and that makes me feel better about myself. And then I kind of got into that and took that about as far as I could academically. And then I decided to make the classic kind of high income switch from being a musician into being an amateur game designer, which, as we all know, pays extremely well. So I think for my next career move, I'm going to become a hermit, just to take that one step further. But yeah, I think it really is that my head is full of ideas, and I can't help but explore things just to enjoy the experience of making stuff. And in the meantime, it's meant I've made some great friends. I've got to learn new things. I love playing games, exploring games, tweaking the systems here and there. And in a way, it's a lot like music in that it's an abstract art form, because both have physical components. You have the instruments, the music score itself, but actually what you're crafting is an experience. So you have to think about how does this abstract experience start? How does it develop? How does it finish? And there's a few parallels there that have really helped me as I've entered the world of design. Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. And a quick hello to Robin, who says that they are not musical, and a quick hello to Rob, who says hello. And after having been told that Alex was indeed Aquasulus, Rob says, not the Aquasulus, the very. That's why you need the pseudonym, apparently, Alex. Otherwise, chat would just go crazy.
Just too much, I know.
Yeah, this needs to be kept under wraps. So, yeah, no one say. But I think that there have definitely been... From game to game, it is different. For me personally, there are definitely games where I look at it and I think, how am I going to make a mass market game that, especially in the first maybe 3 months of 2020, let's say, I was getting more into, okay, how can I make a game that's got the potential to sell at least 100,000 copies? And kind of saying, okay, something that is super simple, a bit more what people might call mass market, although, you know, the exact definition, as I was listening to Leslie Scott, designer of Jenga, talking about how so many of Leslie's games are not in many ways mass market because, hey, they've not actually been to Target, they've not sold, you know, it's like Leslie says, well, my games are accessible, but I've only really made one mass market game, and that's it. And it depends on your definition. But anyway, that's aside. For sure, there is an element that I need to pay the bills. And if I can do something that helps me, then great. But in terms of why I'm doing this, why I'm not doing some sorts of management job, or why I'm not doing something else, why I'm not working in an office, it is definitely the joy of creation. The joy of, I think any artist, anyone who does something super creative and personal has to be, as you say, Alex, somewhat egocentric. I mean, you have to divorce yourself somewhat of an ego when you're trying to make your game into the best version it can be. But at the same time, there has to be enough of a healthy ego. And I think for me, it's like, I want to be responsible for people's fun. I want to have validation. I want to have people saying, hey, Bez, we enjoyed this game. And having someone that I don't even know actually enjoy it. And having that kind of feels like that's what gives my life meaning. I guess people look for meaning in these. And yes, I have it through board games. And yes, I enjoy music. I do enjoy dancing. But it's the popularity in board games that excites me more than those two. Because I feel like within board games, again, from an arrogant point of view, I believe that I am potentially more able to contribute because they are still a bit earlier on. There's still so much more that they could do that they haven't done. And for me, it's super exciting. And that's why I make game bands. Yeah, let's see what other people have been saying. Rob, did you just say hi to yourself? That seems like a very British thing. Because Rob and Rob are saying hi to each other. One has to keep up appearances, don't you know, says Harper. And indeed, I agree with you, Alex. Time. But, so, any other thoughts on that? Or I wanted to ask you, what's your favourite parts of designing, Alan?
The favourite part of designing? Oh, wow. That's... Well, yeah, going back down to the egocentric part, I think it's having the initial inspiration and converting it into something that vaguely works. I think, I mean, with March of Progress, it was really formed in a moment of inspiration when I was reading a book, and I felt, well, I can do this game, and it just kind of came to me that, well, I can just do this with like some hand of cards which you play secretly and turn them up, and each player turns them up at the same time, and then you go from there. And so in other words, it's the fact that came really quickly, and that's the bit I think I enjoy most. So in that sense, it's very egocentric, because this isn't about other people. This is all about that moment of creation of the original thing. That I like that best. I do like all the playtesting and, you know, experiments with other people playing the game as well. But I think the moment of inspiration for me is the great thrill. I'm not one of these people who necessarily thinks that the actual moment of publication is the best, although obviously that is also good. But it's that first bit where you've gone from nothing to having something that vaguely works. That bit is what I like best.
Alex?
I think for me, the thing I enjoy the most about designing it is taking something that's been bugging me in my head, just a thought, and taking it and just putting it into a form that other people can enjoy, and that I can enjoy. So that takes a lot of process to actually get it from my head into something on the page, into something that other people can enjoy. So there is work there, but it's just it doesn't really feel like work, because it's too fun. It's too fun for that. So I guess it's the process, isn't it? So it's the making stuff, it's the tweaking things, and maybe it's for me the puzzle. I love puzzles, and I love any kind of puzzle game or riddle, or that's where my brain lights up. So I suppose if I present myself with a puzzle of how do I get this game that I'd like to play, how do I make it something playable, how do I make it something enjoyable, that feeds the little part of my brain that lights up. So yeah, that's it for me. It's that interaction with the game and my brain. Sorry, I don't make any sense.
I like the point there that it's not work. That's why for me it's that inspiration, and converting that inspiration to something that vaguely works, because that's never work. That's always fun. Even if in the end you put it to one side and think, no, it's rubbish. Still having that inspiration and that moment where you put, well, usually on the table, put something on the table that works, does what you want it to do, more or less. That is, it's instantiating the idea, isn't it? That's what I like. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's definitely the fun part, isn't it? I guess after you get to a certain point, and in truth, I'm not at a stage in my design life that I have taken games really deep into playtesting and tweaking and things like that, and that's something that I'm excited to do going forward. I've heard that once you've played a game 50, 100 times in playtesting, that you lose that spark a bit. I'm fully expecting that to happen, but yeah, I guess maybe it's the easy part that I like, is the making an idea and tweaking it a bit until it works.
Yeah, that's a lovely thing. And I guess you talk about appreciating that puzzle, and your love of puzzles presumably goes into both your creation of puzzles, and that actually makes me think of David's brain, a mutual friend of Alan Paull and myself, who's a professional cruciverbalist. Lovely words I was unfamiliar with until David explained to me, or maybe used it in a sentence, and then I had to look it up because it was online, And, you know, when you find weird words online, you Google it and it's, wow, that's a crossword designer. Well, it makes sense that's a crossword designer would be using weird fancy words. Anyway, so yeah, David's brain has this brain for pun not intended for making games and puzzles, and making games that are a puzzle each turn, but also occasionally making a game that's just a bit of silliness. And how different do you think those two things are? Puzzles and games. Alex.
Oh, puzzles and games. I think obviously they're really intertwined, aren't they? Lots of games are puzzles or have a puzzle to them. I suppose. I suppose that depending on what experience you're intending, it doesn't have to be a puzzle, because actually the process of playing the game is enjoyable enough of itself. And I think when I was talking about puzzles, it was more to do with getting to a solution. I guess it's getting to a solution in terms of what experience you're presenting and how you're presenting it. That still keeps that kind of experience in my mind, even when the game itself doesn't include necessarily a strict puzzle. But you see it all over the place. It's especially in Euro games, I suppose, that the different interacting systems create can create analysis paralysis developing puzzles. So the more you interact with them and the more you learn them, you're exploring these systems, the better you get at these puzzles, which for a lot of people, that's why they play games. They like to get to grips with the system, to get to know all of the different puzzles, and then to advance and master those. So on the other hand, you get people who like to dabble and like to have new experiences, and they like to interact with a new puzzle, even if they don't necessarily play that game a dozen times or more to try and master it. So everybody's different, but I think there's a certain amount of puzzle in lots of kind of what we call author games. Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. And I want to give a quick hello to Nelson Poole Manillo. Lovely to have you. And to another Tom London, just after Tom Cauldron was asking, where are all the Toms? And we thought that maybe Tom Cauldron would be, and for sure there aren't a zillion other seats. But yeah, Tom Lovewell is brilliant. Now, Robin asks about whether design still holds that appeal when it goes from being a hobby to the main source of income. These are really interesting questions. I would like to, unless Alan, do you feel the need to right now reply to this puzzle bit? Because I do want to stop at this moment to do a quick announcement.
Oh, you carry on. Yeah, you carry on, Bez.
Okay, so obviously this has been a long time coming, and I want to preface this by saying that 2020 has been a difficult year for a lot of people, myself included, and there's not been the opportunity to playtest any of these things. Now, for those who don't know the LDEC, and that was actually just a box that I put up there earlier on today. So yeah, the LDEC, there's 2 letters on each card. There's also the border pattern and a number which denotes the frequency of the lower letter. In future editions, the rarity of the letters might be denoted for both of them. So on the categorical deck, it's going to say 6 at the top and have a number on the bottom for the other thing. Now, since before I started this, I realized that I need to get contributions from other people. And no, I didn't. That's genuinely just completely random. And hello, Robert. It is lovely to see you. So, yeah, good morning. And yeah, I would like to say that this is a deck, and it's meant to be a game system. Back in the day, I think it was 2015, I was working on Inner Bind. I'm just going to talk really quickly for the next couple of minutes to catch up anyone who is unfamiliar with this. Inner Bind, now known as Yogi, I was working on it. I was in a bit of depression, and struggling to do the artwork. I decided, it's not worth just trying to do the arts and nothing else. I allowed myself to do other games. The 5th game that I wrote on my daily blog, which was very much inspired by Matthew Dunstan, where I had a game idea for about 80-something days. Then the 5th game was something very much inspired by Gil Hova's Prolix, now known as Wordsy. Games keep changing their names. I guess that's the moral of the last couple of minutes. And I wanted to make a simpler, faster, more streamlined version of Prolix. I went in and I played it. Now, I had ideas for other games, and then I went to UK Games Expo 2015. I showed it off to people, and Andrew Dennison, who invented Alphabetical, was the person who made me realize this should not just be one game, because I feel like it could have just been Wibble. I feel like Wibble itself is strong enough to be a standalone game, but I felt like it should be a game system. Now, I invited other people before it was published to chip in ideas. I want to say that Aaron Redding and David Brain were the only people to do so, which is why their name is on the box. It was like a geek list, and there wasn't much effort involved with that. But then after it was released in 2017, I wanted to continue that tradition. 2017, I put it out there, and people sent me ideas from Lewis Shaw of Brain Crack Games, from my niece, my idea, it was just chipping and David Brain. Sorry, David Brain doesn't like being called Dave. I should point that out. Anyway, so, and of course David Brain has ideas. David Brain has so many ideas, and Ian Vincent, and so many people. And then 2018, I said, okay, I'm going to make this an annual contest. Everyone chip in ideas as you wish. And the first LDEC design competition was won by Tom Cauldron. Categorical was a fantastic game. I think that is, in many ways, many people have said that's their favorite game of the deck. And it was changed quite significantly between submission and when it, exactly, that is Nordlock, Cauldron backwards. And it was changed quite significantly, but that is a game that would not have existed had Tom Cauldron had not submitted something that was very similar to what you now know as Categorical. I would say that the 2019 contest, 2019, had maybe 17 submissions, and I got so many people chipping in ideas. I had, which you can see, a lot of them rewritten. And the winner of that was Paul Mansfield. And it was a difficult decision, and I had to anonymize everything. So actually, for that second contest, I got into the habit of anonymizing everything, because he was someone who I thought had the best game, but they were a friend. So could I guarantee that I'm not just being biased? So I rewrote all the rules, I shared it to a bunch of people, and Tom and Dave, who both got back to me and were wonderful assistant judges, said to me, this game, unfinishable, this is the best game. And yeah, that was... Now, this year we had so many entries. I think we had about 19 entries from so many talented people. We had people who were putting in the maximum number of games that they could. We had some people who were putting in sillier things that were based around my name or being making up brilliant things. We had games about social deduction. We had a game based on deduction and hidden movements, and a game based on an auction, and we had so many word games. Now, because again, 2020 was a difficult year, I got Layla and Chris, that's the name. Sorry, you can tell that I'm terrible with names when I can't even remember the name of someone that I interact with multiple times a week. But Chris and Layla got together with me for a few days to play through literally every single submission. Then over the subsequent months, we played those games many times. I played the top few with my family. I played some of them, with Chris and McCall in that setting. It wasn't many people. Honestly, it's been a total of myself, family, Leela, maybe 6 people because of my own dissatisfaction, let's put it, with online playtesting and my desire to have playtesting in real life. And it was a difficult decision. Again, ideally, in an ideal situation, I would have taken these to conventions, but I would like to announce, and I realize that I should have actually typed the names of these games because that would be more these are 2 games, and again, a very similar thing happened to 2019. And we have decided in an unprecedented move, and I hope that this will literally just be for this year, so don't get to believe that there will be more, but there are 2 winners. And the winners of the 2020 LDEC design competition are BIDDABBELL and INVIZABBELL. Now, these were, and so congratulations. Silent applause. Congratulations to BIDDABBELL, which was, it created a co-design by Xate and Alex Cannon, who's right here, and Xate is kind of further along that way. That way, exactly. And so that is Xate. Where is Xate? Yeah, there's a smiley face. I know that wasn't relevant to this. It was just a random smiley face that Xate did for a completely different thing. I'm taking that out of context, but that's Xate, also known as Will Cook for Board Games, who will literally cook for board games. Now, BIDDABBELL, is a quick 3-to-4 player game of bidding to grab cards from the market, trying to make big sets, co-designed by Alex and Xate. And INVIZABBELL, a game of get one person hiding and making words to go around a grid, one person trying to deduce where they are. And so congratulations to both of these people. Honestly, a week ago, this wasn't just some big drawn-out elaborate ploy. Genuinely, a week ago, I was still racking my brain. I knew it would be one of these 2 games. I did not know which one. And had London not gone into a more severe lockdown, we would have had more opportunities to playtest. And we have had amazing feedback from, I want to thank Tom Cauldron. I want to thank Paul Mansfield, who gave some feedback. I want to thank everyone who helped me come to this decision, all the judging people. But these are 2 amazing games, and so well done to both Xate, Will Cook for Board Games, and Alex Cannon, known as Aquasulus. So thank you very much. Do you have anything to say, Alex?
Wow. I mean, I was pleased when you announced the top 2 because I thought, yes, I might win something. Actually, no, I will because I did. But to hear both games, I mean, it's so strange because they're completely different types of game. Is like BIDDABBELL is like a nice, quick, light card game, and INVIZABBELL is just kind of a brain burning kind of deduction puzzle it's fairly heavy. So you know, I can understand why, but both have succeeded, and yeah, and Sate did play test a lot of my Invisible. I think I might have accidentally created like her perfect game for the system, because she's incredibly good at the deduction part, and would beat me every time. Yeah, but yeah, I had a great time making them, and I'm quite glad that you made everything as anonymous as you could, because obviously we hang around quite a bit now on Twitch, and I didn't want that to necessarily influence things too much, because I think with the contest like this, the game should stand on it, you know, stand on its own. But thank you so much. Thanks everyone who voted for me. I'd like to thank my parents, and yeah, they're pretty good.
I mean, I think this is a bit of an overstatement, but sometimes I know that Sate can tease a little bit. I assume that this is one of those moments.
Congratulations to both for both games, and I'm looking forward to hearing more about them and playing them later on today, for sure.
Okay. And yes, we will talk more about these games at 2 o'clock, and Alex will be back, and Sate, depending on how Sate feels, might be or might not be joining us. And I will be going off in a few minutes. We will finish this section of the stream. I know normally we sometimes go on until 12 or even 1 o'clock, but today we're starting at 12. So yeah, we better stop at some point so we can have a bit of a break. So I don't have any intermission music or anything like that. But, you know, you can, everyone watching, I have now put both those games into the thing. I've written up a wee announcement. I'm going to put that up on Board Game Geek and emailed that out if I manage to. So, and let me try and do this. Link to stuffbybez.com/ELL. If you look at the very top of that sheet, you will see the rule sheets, which are still works in progress. I should make that clear. Alex pointed out, because we were talking a couple of nights ago, that these are snapshots. These games are still in progress, and these games have changed. BIDDABBELL maybe a bit more so. INVIZABBELL also has changed a bit and then come back and then changed a bit more. And we've had some interesting ideas for how they might both be changed in the future. Now, obviously, it's about capturing the spark of what is great about these things and having that one spark and potentially following that to make it the best thing that it can be. And if you would like to try these games later on today, then starting from 12 or 1, I believe Alex is going to be available within the Discord, which I will actually do an exclamation mark Discord. I should actually have a... So that is my Discord. So check that out. I think there's a couple of people watching who might not be on the Discord. If you want, join the Discord, try out these games. They are fantastic. And come back during the Twitch stream. You will be able to play these games for a long time to come. It's not just today. We will continue working on these, and we will be appreciating feedback for probably the next year. I know for the next 6 months, maybe it'll be a bit more... I don't know when we'll have to be able to go back to real-life playtesting, but I think certainly for the next few months, online will still have to be the focus. But I'm hoping towards the latter half of the year, then we will be able to get back to real-life meetings and real-life playtesting. And yeah, so that is that. And thank you so much to Sate and Alex for all your efforts and all your energy and making such amazing games. Is there anything more to say on that, do you think, Alan?
I'm happy. I think it's great. I'm looking forward to this afternoon.
Okay. And do you have anything more to say on that, Alex?
Well, thanks so much. Thanks, especially to Xate for being a tour de force. You know, talking about energy. I know she's tired now, but like, amazing. Yeah. And yeah, I look forward to seeing people around this afternoon. And I've been practicing teaching games, so let's do it.
Well, thank you, everyone. Now, as we start to recap and wrap up, wow, this is feels weird doing it so early, but it feels exciting. It feels different. And we're going to be back here in an hour, in possibly less than an hour now. But we talked about so much. Actually, we didn't talk about that much. We talked about the people who are going to be here. We talked about the amazing Alex, Alan, Rory, who was here earlier, Eric, who is not here, Xate, who is there at chat. And yeah, we talked a little bit about the games. And if you want to check out the games or read more about the games, please check out the Discord. So hello, So Crafty So, it is lovely to see you. And yeah, please check out the Discord for information about the games. I don't know yeah, if anyone will be around for the next hour. I'm just going to be, but if people want to chat or if someone is happy, there are voice channels for each different game. And oh, I should explain the Discord actually. Can I do someone say something interesting? Alex, tell us a joke. While I see if I can put up my
my children are now playing piano very loudly downstairs, so I apologize for any kind of avant-garde atonal music going on. Jokes. Oh gosh. No, I can't say that joke.
Keep
So,
stalling.
Oh yeah, I know.
Fine.
I want a really bad joke that I made up earlier for my 4-year-old child. Which is the most painful type of cheese?
Gruyere?
Ouchies.
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 Oh, okay. Like
See,
ouchies.
it's
Okay,
incredibly bad. I'm so sorry.
No, I like that.
Yes.
Oh.
Hmm.
No one should ever apologize for avant-garde atonal music. I want to grab a saucepan, a wooden spoon, and join in. Let me put myself down so people can see out. I never did. I tried that. Anyway, if you want to join in the Discord, I put it on here so that people can't see all the things. So there's the rules, which tells you what you need to do. Just be kind, which is the #1 rule of life, I think. Be yourself. Like if someone says random user 12378, then I'm going to definitely ask them to. Then that's kind of a red flag. But yeah, be civil. Don't swear and stuff. Try to be PG rated. But you can be like a little bit adult. But it's like this show. You know where the line is. And yeah, don't spam. But you are all cool. You're all wonderful people. And I'm not going to show the other things, but it is happening on this stream. We will have a break now. Then I will be demonstrating Make a Word Search. Chris will be here on that bit, whilst BIDDABBELL and INVIZABBELL might be demonstrated in the Discord. 1 p.m. March of Progress. Alan Paull will be coming on stream, and BIDDABBELL and INVIZABBELL might be demonstrated in the Discord, and other games as well potentially. 2 p.m. Xate and Alex Cannon and Xate will be joining because that makes them sound a bit less like a married couple. to talk about both of those games. And sorry, I should say Alex Cannon will be joining and Sates might be joining. Sorry for that. Whilst Scorable and March for Progress and in March, anyway, all of this schedule will be here, and 5 PM Monstrosity. If you want to play Make a Word Search at 12, you can play along with the Twitch. All you need is a bit of paper, and you need to have drawn a 5x5 grid. That is literally all you need. 1 pen, maybe 2 if you really want to get fancy. Monstrosity, you can jump into Twitch. If I know you, then you can 100% do that. And yeah, there's a couple of the other games, frankly, that if someone wants to jump on as the second player, let me know. Otherwise, once you've joined the Discord, you'll see your joining ping. Introduce yourself if you fancy. If you've got any questions, ask in the lobby. Then all the games in the order in which we will be playing them on Twitch are organized. So ask any questions about the relevant games. So if you've got any questions about Invisible, and I will be pasting a wee bit of information here in a couple of minutes, then please ask questions and go into the voice chat if that is where you would like to play, and maybe Alex will be able to join you. And I hope that, yeah, that explains everything. So it all makes sense now. We all look. I'm bribable, says Xate. I also wanted a work husband, but I don't work, so Twitch it is. And so, yep, that brings us to the end of the show. I feel I've already recapped everything. We've talked about stuff. We talked about why we design. We've announced the winners. Congratulations, Xate, Alex Cannon, 2 amazing people, both working very hard on these games. They have changed quite a lot. They are still just snapshots in progress. And that is how you can join in all of today's activities. I hope that makes any sense. And if anyone has any questions, do please ask in the Discord. I will be checking there, even if I don't get back to you within a couple of minutes.
Thank you.
So, yeah, that is up. Hope it goes well, says Robert. That's totally fine. I hope you have a wonderful day. And yeah, I will say what is meant to be after that. If you want to check us out, then oh dear, you can check me out on Stuff by Bez pretty much everywhere except for Facebook, which is Things by Bez, because back in the day, Facebook didn't let you have the F and the B next to each other. But yeah, if you've not joined the Discord, then something is very seriously wrong. So I am going to share. Alex, where do you most like to be found?
You can find me on Twitter. Maybe I can type that in. I think.
It's already there.
Oh my gosh, you're very organized. Oh yes, and my geek list. Yeah, I have some solo print and plays that you can test out. They're still in development. And I hang around on Twitter and tweet stuff, and that's about it.
And Alan, where do you like to be found?
Mainly, I'm on my email, which for some reason isn't there. Alan at alanpaull.co.uk.
Sorry about that. You'll have to remind me.
That's okay. Yeah, that's not a problem. And I have started to tweet, so I can be found as Benthamfish on Twitter, or on our Surprise Tech Games website. There are links. There are links there. So that's how to find me. But if you want to get a hold of me and have me actually focus on it a bit more, Alan at alanpaull.co.uk or Alan at surprisetechgames.co.uk is the best ones.
And we've got to shout out for.
Oh, Bez, you've gone a bit.
Can you still see me?
Yeah. Your camera is for a second.
There's all of Xate's things. All of this should be clickable wherever you are. Xate's entire Twitter feed is apparently just 2/3 of this channel. I mean, why are you not following Alan? What's all that's about?
Well,
Rory
I've
Muldoon.
only just started. You see, well, actually, technically, I'm not a newbie because I was on Twitter right at the early days and I stopped. I've recently come back and started actually tweeting.
So Rory Muldoon has all of these places, and Eric Slauson is all just that. And Xate says, Xate follows a lot of people. We just post way more than anyone else that Xate follows. And Rob should up the game. I mean, clearly, Xate does not follow Suzanne Sheldon, who is like the queen of constant posting. Anyway, up. Let me get rid of that and say thank you to everyone. I will say over to you. What are you up to? You can share anything you want to. So just during the break, I'm about to send out some announcements right up that. Have a quick water refill, and then I will be back here at 12. What about you? Let's go clockwise again.
I'm just going to grab some quick food, remind myself about how to play a game or two, and maybe write some more information in Discord, because that's always nice.
Oh, I need to do that first. Yep, thank you for reminding me.
Oh, no,
No, you don't apologise. It's all good. Alan.
I shall probably have to dash and get some food, and I'm aiming to be back at 12, but I might be a bit later than that because it depends on when we actually get food. And my wife is looking horrified. But there you go, because I haven't told her when I'm doing anything today yet. But I'll definitely be back.
That's not good.
I know, a bit disorganised today, but I will definitely be back at 1 for March Progress. And
I'm not going to bother with a raid today. I know this is unusual. Share, spread the word if you want. There is only one thing left to do just for the moment. And so just for the moment, we'll say bye, 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 bye. This is a goodbye song. Bye, 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 bye. Thank you for watching along. Bye, 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 bye. This is the end of the show. Bye, 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 bye. It was just the intro. Bye, 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 bye. This is a goodbye song. Bye, 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 bye. Thank you for watching along.
Bye, bye.
Bye, 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 bye.
Everyone.
This is the end of the show.
Bye, bye.
Bye, bye, bye. It was just the intro. Bye, 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 bye. We will be back very soon. Bye, 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 bye. Possibly in the same room. And bye-bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.